She entered the courtroom glowing with victory. 5 minutes later, her smile was gone. She entered the courtroom smiling. Not just smiling, glowing. Her hair perfectly curled, the soft peach of her dress stretching slightly over a stomach that wasn't there 6 months ago. Everyone noticed it. Everyone saw what she wanted them to see. Pregnancy, triumph, the symbol of her supposed victory. I sat still, my suit immaculate, my hands folded over the table like a man preparing for his sentencing. The whispers behind us rose and fell like faint tides. "Poor guy," someone murmured. "She's pregnant. He won't have the heart to fight now." That's what she wanted. That's what she counted on. Her attorney leaned close to whisper something, and she laughed. This soft, performative laugh that used to belong to the woman I loved. I watched her fingers graze the edge of her belly, the way her eyes flicked toward me, just to check if I'd seen. I saw, and for the first time since all of this began, I smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind that hides a blade. 5 minutes. That's how long it took for her to realize everything she'd built, every lie, every manipulation, every performance was about to collapse. 5 minutes until her world ended. It started with a message, a simple, harmless one, or so I thought. "You left your jacket at my place. Again?" It came from an unknown number, 2 months before our anniversary. At first, I assumed it was a mistake. I even showed it to her, laughing. She looked up from her phone, a little too calm. "Spam," she said. "Probably a scammer. Just delete it." I wanted to believe her. God, I did. But her voice had that controlled steadiness that comes when someone's building a lie on the spot. Over the next week, more small things began to surface. A perfume I didn't recognize on her coat. A second phone charger in her car. Late meetings that didn't line up with her office calendar. Nothing I could accuse her of, not yet, just enough to stir something dark and uneasy in my chest. Then, one night, I woke to the faint buzz of her phone on the nightstand. 1:42 a.m. The screen lit up with a message from a name that made my stomach twist. "Can't stop thinking about you." I didn't wake her. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, letting the quiet rot spread through me. By morning, I had made a decision. Not out of anger, but clarity. She wanted to play a game. So, I'd play. But I would play better. Over the following weeks, I became someone else entirely. Calm, detached, observant. I started with the basics: phone records, tracking data, quiet surveillance. A favor from an old friend at a telecom company gave me what I needed: a number, a pattern. Nights when her overtime matched a route to the same small apartment complex downtown. I never confronted her. I never shouted. I smiled, kissed her forehead, and asked how her day was. The colder I became inside, the warmer I appeared on the outside. One night, she came home flushed, laughing at something unseen. I watched her kick off her heels, toss her purse onto the couch, and head straight for the shower. I sat there, in the dim light of the living room, listening to the water running. That was the night I realized she wasn't just cheating, she was happy doing it. A week later, she told me she was pregnant. Her voice trembled like it should have been joy, but there was fear in her eyes. Fear I didn't comment on. I congratulated her. I held her hand. I said, "This changes everything." She cried in my arms that night. I think part of her knew I already understood. I waited until she was 3 months along before taking the next step. She believed I'd forgiven her, that I'd chosen peace over pain, that I'd accepted this child as mine, because that's what good men do when they love too much to see the truth. I booked an appointment for a prenatal DNA test, just to make sure the baby's healthy. She smiled, relieved. She didn't even notice when I signed my name on the consent form next to hers. 2 weeks later, the results came in. When I opened the envelope, I didn't feel rage. I didn't even feel sadness. Just an empty, chilling silence. Probability of paternity, 0%. The father wasn't me. It was the man from the messages, her coworker. A man I'd once invited into our home, offered a drink, and thanked for taking care of her at work. That night, she came home humming softly, carrying takeout for two. She kissed me, told me she loved me, told me she couldn't wait to raise our child. I said nothing. I simply handed her the envelope. She froze, her face drained of color. She didn't open it right away. She didn't have to. She knew what was inside. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. "Mark, Don't," I said quietly. "You'll need your voice in court." Her knees nearly gave out. I didn't touch her. That night, she packed a bag. She didn't even bother pretending to explain. I watched her leave, barefoot. Her mascara streaked down her face like a bad painting. The silence that followed was absolute. The divorce hearing was scheduled 6 months later. By then, she had rewritten her story, told everyone she was the victim. The poor pregnant wife abandoned by her cold, heartless husband. She played her part beautifully. Tears on command, a hand on her stomach, a perfectly timed smile. And the court, as always, leaned toward sympathy. Her lawyer spoke first, painting me as a manipulative man who emotionally neglected her. He mentioned my refusal to communicate, my lack of support during pregnancy. I sat there, silent, watching her bask in her false righteousness. Then my lawyer stood. "Your Honor," he said calmly, "before proceeding with settlement, we'd like to submit one document into evidence, a certified paternity result." The room fell silent. Her face turned slightly, eyes narrowing. The judge nodded. "Go ahead." My lawyer slid the file across the table. She reached for it with trembling fingers, opened it, and froze. You could see the moment her world cracked. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Her skin went pale. The courtroom was dead quiet, except for the soft shuffle of paper in her shaking hands. The judge's voice cut through the silence like a blade. "Mrs. Landon, this report indicates your husband is not the biological father of your child. Is that correct?" She couldn't speak. She just stared at the page, at the bold black letters confirming what she already knew. Her smile, the same smug, victorious smile she'd worn walking in, was gone. Completely gone. The divorce was finalized in under 10 minutes after that. I didn't demand alimony, property, or even custody claims. I didn't want anything tied to her. Not her money, not her lies, not her ghost. As we exited the courthouse, she tried to speak. Her hand reached out, trembling. "Mark, please." I didn't mean. I stepped back. My voice was calm. "You did mean it. Every part of it. You just didn't expect me to stop playing the fool." She started crying then, the kind of crying that used to break me. But this time, there was no sympathy left to give. Just quiet disgust, wrapped in relief. "Who told you?" she whispered. "No one," I said. "You did." Every lie told its own truth. I turned and walked away before she could say another word. That was a year ago. Sometimes I still dream about her laugh, the way she used to press her hand against my chest when she wanted reassurance. Then I remember the courtroom, the way that same hand clutched her belly as if it were a shield against the truth. And I realize I don't miss her. I miss the illusion. I kept the DNA report, not out of bitterness, but as a reminder that love without honesty isn't love at all. It's a performance, a mask. And the day she walked into that courtroom, glowing with victory, was the day she forgot one thing. Every performance ends. And when the curtain falls, the truth doesn't need to scream. It just stands there, silent, while the liar drowns in their own applause.
How could you do this?